Hey, hello everyone, welcome to my channel Relationship Stories. Today, one guy is asking us, am I an idiot for threatening a guy while he's sleeping with my roommate? But before we give our judgment, let's hear the story from his side. I, 20 male, live in a flat with 5 others at university. There is one girl, 20-year female, who is a bit of a problem here. So, she always brings guys back and has loud audible thing with them, very loud, and it annoys all of us. We have early starts in the morning and will tell her to keep it down, but she does not listen. We told security that they did not do ship. So we also have all exams soon and essay deadlines. And yesterday she does it again, brings a guy back and starts having a loud thing. We are all awake on this and post on the flat chat, but she was not going to see it anyway until after she was done having thing. I have an early start and had to be somewhere by 7 am and it was 2 am while this was happening. I had enough with that, so I banged on her door and she would not open it. I bang again and she does not open. So I try to open it and it's unlocked. They must have forgotten to lock it given that they came back drunk. So I walked in and see them having thing. They have both quickly see me and freak out. She says to me, "What the frick?" But I looked over to the guy. The guy was a bit short and really skinny. There's no way in hell he would be a threat to me. And he looked to me way more nervous than she does. She keeps saying, "What the frick? Get out!" And I said to her, "I have had enough of your freaking ship. We all have had enough of your freaking ship. You piece of shit." We are trying to sleep. The guy is standing there awkwardly. So I tell him, "Get the freak out." And he doesn't do anything, just stands there awkwardly. So I tell him I will freaking call security and I have got 4 other flatmates to back me up. Our friends against yours, so get the freak out. And he gets his clothes on and runs out the flat. So the problem girl starts crying and I tell her that she needs to sort her life out. I then to say to her, "Please leave this flat, move out, and no one here freaking likes you. Not even that guy you just freaked likes you enough to stay," and calls me a freaking idiot. I then leave and go back to my room. I told the others what happened and they all agreed with me. And there's nothing else I could have done. In fact, they thanked me. At least we could get a sleep and now we sent her a message. Am I the idiot here, guys, for doing this? My opinion about this issue is, OP, you were such an idiot. It's important to note that entering someone's room without their permission, regardless of the circumstances, is a violation of their privacy and could be potentially be considered as illegal as well. It's also not appropriate to use vulgar language or insult someone even if their behavior is disruptive. It may have been more effective to continue to try to resolve the issue through the communication with the flatmate, or to continue seeking help from university resources rather than taking matters into your own hands. It is also important to consider how your actions may have affected the emotional well-being of the other person involved. It may be worth of reflecting on the situation and considering alternative approaches to addressing the issue in a respectful and effective way. Now we will see what our friends think about this issue. You are an idiot, OP. Not only were you necessarily cruel to this girl, you were being a huge idiot to the guy too. He was not any part of this argument between the roommates and there was no reason to threat him like that. In fact, based on your cruelty towards this girl, nobody likes you, even that guy didn't. After you scared him out with implicit threats of violence and your responses in this thread, I will call you indefinite idiot. Our friend number 2 said, "I'm gonna go against the grain and say not an idiot here. This girl is rude and disrespectful. She does not give a shit about the rest of the house. She just wants to be loud when she wants to be loud. If she was not having a thing and doing something else like playing loud music or loud video games or whatever, I would have expected the same reaction. You guys told her a million times to knock it off and she refused. You tried to fixing it legally by going through security and they were also useless. So in a sleep deprived state, you went off on her. Good for you. So freaking what if you hurt her feelings? You were not wrong. Nobody in the house likes her because of her sheepy, selfish behavior. Maybe next time she starts to ignore someone who has an issue with her, she will actually stop and consider them instead of acting like a rat. Story 2. My daughter is 9 and just started going to a new school in January. Because we moved, it's a quite public school in an urban city, which is quite multicultural. She is half Chinese and half white. Although she is part Chinese and not many people can notice. Some have thought that she is Italian or Greek or even Irish for some reason. Anyways, a month a bit ago, my daughter came home a bit sad. I asked her what was wrong. She told me that in school everyone shared what they did for the weekend. My daughter said that her family is Chinese, so they celebrated Chinese New Year. The teacher, who is white, apparently told her, "But you are not Chinese. You should not lie." My daughter said she felt embarrassed in front of the whole class. I was amused but also angry. I phoned her teacher and very casually told her that my daughter felt hurt by her being dismissive of her heritage. Her teacher was strangely defensive and asked me if I was accusing her for something. I said no and just that she should try to be open-minded. A few days after this incident, my daughter said she felt like the teacher was treating her unfairly, namely refusing to let her go to the water fountain during class, giving her a timeout for not lining up in time for recess, putting her on the spot to answer the question and berating her when she had the wrong answer. This time, both my husband and I booked up an appointment to talk with the teacher, who was quite dismissive of us and very unhelpful. At this point, it was affecting my daughter's enjoyment of school. She would cry at night and beg me to send her back to her old school. Finally, I had a talk with the principal, who told me that other parents have been accusing the other teacher of racism in the past and said they are trying to work with her. In the meantime, my daughter was transferred to another class, which worked out great. Flash forward to last week, when I was picking up my daughter from school, her old teacher approached me and we made a bit of small talk. Then she said casually, "Well, I'm not going to return to teach next year, so I guess I can thank you." I was super taken aback. I told her I did not mean for her to lose her job. She then walked away from me. I also learned from another parent that she was 4 kids and is a single mom. This made me extremely sad and I can't help but feel guilty for playing a role in having her fired. My husband told me she was probably gonna get fired anyways and said I should not feel bad. I feel so horrible knowing that she cannot support her 4 kids anymore, partially because of my complaint against her. Am I the idiot here, guys? My opinion about this issue is, it sounds like you were advocating for your daughter's well-being and addressing issues of potential discrimination and unfair treatment, which is not an idiot move. It's important to speak up when something is not right, especially if it's affecting a child's education and emotional well-being. However, it's also understandable that you feel guilty about the teacher losing her job and the impact that may have on her and her children. It's not necessarily your fault that she was let go, but it's important to recognize the possible consequences of your actions and empathize with those affected. Overall, I would say not an idiot here for addressing the situation and advocating for your daughter, but it's important to consider the possible consequences of such actions and approach the situation with empathy and compassion for all involved. Now we will see what our friends think about this issue. Our friend once said, "Not an idiot, your child comes first, not her children. Other parents have accused her for racism, not surprising, and you tried to talk to her first before you went higher. She didn't apologize or acknowledge her behavior. She should have paid attention to the school regulations if she did not want to be fired. Thanks to you, far fewer kids will experience racism at your daughter's school. You did what you had to do. Don't feel guilty about it. She brought this on herself." She could have said, "Really? You're half Chinese? I didn't know that. Tell me, what you had for Chinese New Year. Instead, she called her a liar. That's traumatic for a kid, not a joke. You did the right thing there. Story 3. My fiancé and I are few months into planning our wedding, and we are now deciding on who we are inviting. My fiancé comes from a super conservative and religious background, but has thankfully grown away from that. Her parents, however, are still super conservative and homophobic, and delight in taking ship and all sorts of horrible things about the LGBT community. Other members of her family are like this as well, some more violently vocal than others. Well, for our wedding, we have decided that everyone we invite can bring a +1. Subject to approval, of course. I thought about it for a really long time about my older brother and his husband. They have been married for 3 years and I don't want his husband to attend with him. Their drama, if they attend together, has the potential to get out of hand, and that is something I don't want to have a deal with on my wedding day. My fiancé also agrees with me on this. We can't not invite her parents and we can't not invite my brother, so we felt our only option was to not invite his husband. Who knows what could be said or done if she attends, and yeah, we are being selfish, but it's our wedding. I'm really not sure how he will react though. It took my brother a long time to accept himself, and I'm sure this won't be feel good, but at the same time, maybe his husband won't want to attend anyways. I have nothing against my brother's husband, he is a lovely man, but we are just trying to have the day go smoothly. When we extend the invitations out, I think I'm going to go to my brother in person and ask him not to bring his husband for all the reasons above. So, will I be the idiot if I asked him not to bring his husband? My opinion about this issue is, yes, you would be the idiot if you asked your brother not to bring his husband. Excluding someone based on their sexual orientation is discriminatory and hurtful. It is also unfair to ask your brother to choose between attending your wedding and being with his husband, who is his partner and spouse. Your wedding day should be about celebrating love and inclusivity, not about catering to the prejudices of others. It is understandable that you want your wedding day to go smoothly, but excluding someone based on the sexual orientation is not the solution. Instead, you could consider having the conversation with your brother and his husband beforehand, setting clear expectations about behavior and reminding them that your wedding is a celebration of love and inclusivity. You could also have a plan in place for how to handle any potential conflicts or uncomfortable situations that may arise. Ultimately, it is important to prioritize love and acceptance on your wedding day and to show respect and support for all your guests, regardless of their sexual orientations or any other differences. Now, we will see what our friends think about this issue. Our friend once said, "You are an idiot. Instead of disinviting the bigots who would cause problems, you are choosing to disinvite a decent person who happens to be gay. Let me ask you, OP, are you going to exclude your brother and his husband from every family event from now on? Birthdays, holidays, or what happens if you have kids? Will you exclude them from your kids' lives because your wife's family thinks they all had a bad influence? But if your kids are LGBT, will you cut off your wife's family then? Or will you let them mistreat your own children? What do you think of your exclusion of your brother's husband? We'll teach your kids. This is not the only time their beliefs will cause problems. And you need to think about how you are going to proceed from here on out and the consequences your choices will have in the years to come." Our friend too said, "You will be an idiot. It's your wedding day, sure, but you have no problem with the guy. He probably knows their judgments and should be given the option to come. Also, him attending would not be source of the drama. Their taking ship would be the source of the drama. I had informed them if he is coming that you don't want any bullshit on your wedding day."